Are live, Believe Nation. Happy Friday. Friday is my CEO day. So I'll spend the day working on big projects to move my business forward. Usually in the morning, I focus on relationships. So who are the people who I can make a big impact on and who can also have an impact on my business? People who I generally suck at staying in touch with people. So I schedule it in to spend the morning doing that. And then afternoon, I work. Today I'm going to work on social media content. But before that, we're going to do a Q&A session with you guys. I'm going to invite in my co-host, Mark Drager. Ask us your questions below. Oh, you're very noisy. I'm going to turn you down a little bit.
I'm going to turn you down as well, sir.
All right. Good times. I turned you down too much. Okay. So this is the bonus episode of the Something to Prove podcast, which we do a weekly show.
Twice a week, actually.
Well, sure. One of them is this, and one of them is a full-on hour.
A full-on 1 hour of Evan deconstructing Mark in his life. Hopefully, people come along on the journey.
This week's episode is pretty quality. It's pretty good.
It was good. It had quite possibly the best rant Evan has ever gone on in his life.
Nelson Braff, welcome aboard, man. Nelson runs the Hunt and Fish Club in New York.
Oh,
legendary steakhouse. Thanks for joining.
That's where they give a special knife, don't they?
Yeah, I have an Evan Carmichael knife.
Yeah, that's
great.
Super cool.
It's amazing.
Talk about experience, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite restaurants of all time. Okay, you guys got questions for me and Mark? Pop it. Use that little question mark box, and we'll get to as many as we can. Let's kick it off. David asking, "Yo, Evan, do you have a referral VA on Upwork for content creation?" I don't even know what that means. What does that mean, Mark? A referral virtual assistant on Upwork. I think VA is virtual assistant for content creation.
Next question.
David, give us a little more clarity, and we'll come back to it. Okay? I don't get the question. Okay. Hoop Lauda in the house. Hoop Lauda is a Thought Leadership Academy graduate. This is in the house saying only student athlete YouTube channel, but only 4K subs. Any advice?
Well, I mean, first of all, you should celebrate the 4,000 subs that you have, because that shows that you've been doing good work and that you have 4,000 people who are paying attention to you. So the question that I would have is, do you need to do more? Do you need to have more videos, more consistency? Of the people who are watching your content, are you looking at your retention? Are they dropping off? Is it fairly steady? Are you on the slide down? Are you on the growth up? You know, it's hard to tell without the details, right, Evan? But you guys have all the tools and everything that you guys look at. It usually comes down to consistency and checking your retention rate and doing more of what works and less of what doesn't work and trying new things.
So there's a specific strategy and there's a broad strategy. I think the specific strategy is exactly what you want clients for. So for example, if you're going to help college students or student athletes get college scholarships, right? That's a specific strategy. There's only so much content you can make on that. You can keep showing different examples. You can keep helping people. You can coach people. You can guide them. But once they've done it, once they're through that period in their life, they don't care about your channel anymore because they've already kind of gone through that, right? Just think about a normal high school student trying to get into college, forget if they're an athlete or not. If they're worrying about scoring well in their SATs or what is it like at these different campuses, once they've already been approved and they're in college, they don't care about it anymore because they don't have to write the SATs anymore. So
it's on-demand, time of need type stuff, which people are going to consume a lot of, but they may not subscribe to for a long time because there's no reason to.
At some point, it may be the most important thing in their life, and then they don't care about it at all. But that can work if you have a business around it, right? If you're going to coach people to do that, if you're going to take a cut and represent them, if you're going to be their agent or something, right? Then you don't need to have 1 million subscribers because the 4K that you have is exactly your target market, right? Option two is you go really broad. in athletics, it's featuring up and coming stars. Like if you were the channel that showcased the up and coming high school athletes, and you had clips and you had your reviews on it and you had your take on it and why this person's going to be the next LeBron James, that is a much more broad topic. You're going to have a lot of people who will join you. That's how you can grow the channel quickly with subs, but it may not lead to the business, right? So those are your two options. Do you just want to generate leads and you make highly targeted content and you don't care about sub growth? What you care about is using YouTube as lead gen for your business. Or if you actually care about sub growth, being an influencer, having a giant audience, and recognizing only a small portion of those would actually be the people who might buy from you. Make sense?
Great advice.
I hope so. Okay, I'm just looking if David did not write back again. Okay, I want to understand.
I want to congratulate you on being so awesome right now. That was good advice.
Great. That's welcome to the Something to Prove podcast. That's what we do, fam. That is what we do. All right. Next up, Nihaje Pujari. Nihaje Pujari. Hope I pronounced that okay. How to overcome fear, shyness, and anxiety.
Yes.
Let's go. Mark's got a great answer. It's
I
coming.
love fear. I love anxiety. Not really. I live with these things. Shyness is actually something that I think is a little bit different than fear and anxiety. But if you are shy and you're naturally introverted, like Evan, like myself, actually, I'm a huge introvert. Evan just put a mustache on. Totally random thing to do is to add a filter, a mustache filter, like he looks like it's the 80s now. Fear, shyness, and anxiety. So first of all, what I would say is if your fear and anxiety comes from you being shy, you don't have to play the game that everyone else plays. Just because you see outgoing people who love connecting, who love talking to people, who love going to parties, who love being the center of attention, and you look at them and you say, oh, why can't I be more like them? It doesn't mean that there aren't other people who are shy and introverted and quiet like you, still crushing it and still winning and not doing those things. So if your fear and anxiety comes from being shy, then one, I mean, it may be holding you back, but there's probably another path to getting what you want by using the skills that you have. So having fewer connections, but deeper relationships with people, listening to them more, not putting yourself out there the way that everyone else is, but the way that works the best for you. And in terms of fear and anxiety, I mean, for me, anxiety just comes from the fear that I won't handle it in the future. So most of my anxiety is about me thinking about the things that I have to do or the things that will come. And I worry that when those things happen, I won't be able to handle it. And so showing myself today that I'm doing the things I need to do and crushing my goals and doing hard things today makes me have more confidence that I can do it today. And then when I start to get anxious about the future, I think, well, if I could do it today, I can do it in the future. And then that helps bring my anxiety down.
We got Prairie Dodgers and Mike Lamont in the house. We got a lot of thought leadership alumni here.
That's a lot of mustache you're wearing right now, Evan.
There's a lot of energy in the and geared towards thought leadership these days. How to overcome fear, shyness, and anxiety is through. So being afraid, being shy, and being anxious are not good enough reasons anymore. Because if you're never afraid and you have no anxiety, what does that mean you're doing? Just stuff that you already know how to do. And then
dude, I can't take you seriously with that mustache.
And then you just hate your life because you're just photocopying and it's boring and you're just doing. If you did the same thing every day, think about the worst job you had, that was the most boring job you had, just showing up doing the same thing every day.
Oh, terrible.
But you had
have you ever had a really boring job?
Yes.
The data entry thing, is that what you're going to say?
Yeah. And landscaping was super boring too. I had to print off encyclopedias and read it in the car on lunch break just to have mental stimulation because my whole crew spoke Portuguese and no English.
And you had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, I can't even talk to the people who I'm working with. So it's like social isolation all day long. Yeah, so I'm reading about the history of economics and the history of war and just all sorts of stuff. That was boring. But I had no fear or anxiety.
Yeah.
Right?
Super boring.
Because you're bored, right? So recognize that a lot of the fear, the shyness, the anxiety is a signal that you want to do something. Your great life is on the other side of all three of those things. And so it's teaching yourself to do that. For me, it's scary, difficult, hard, right? So fear is scary. I have to do it just because. To teach yourself that, yes, you might be afraid, and yes, you might be shy, and yes, you have an anxiety, and you're not going to let those things hold you back now from making the life that you want.
I had this boring job right after. Oh, you got rid of the mustache. Good. I had this job after college that I thought was going to be
because I flipped
amazing.
to the questions. When I go questions, I lose the mustache.
Oh, you lose the mustache. I thought it was going to be
Sad
amazing.
days.
So I used to work at this hotel doing AV. So, you know, when conferences come into a hotel and someone has to, you know, make sure that the microphones are there and the screens are set up and all of that stuff. And I thought this was going to be an amazing job because I would get in at around 6. I'd have everything set up for 8, and then there would be nothing to do until 4 or 5 p.m. But you couldn't leave. It's now Evan's face on a seagull. He is really taking this seriously, people. Anyway, so I thought it was going to be great because I was going to use all of that open time during the day to start a business and to read and to focus on things, and I never did any of that. And after 7 months, I hated my job and my life because it was just so boring.
What's not boring is this podcast, fam. Yeah, baby.
I feel
Mark,
like you're not taking things seriously, Evan.
Okay, David wrote back and said, was wondering if you used a VA, someone specific that handled your social content that you may have outgrown. I think he wants to hire like a former Evan Carmichael.
There you go.
No, I don't think so.
Evan keeps people or they're not good enough to keep.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if it's somebody that I would recommend, they'd still be on my team. So go find somebody for your team, man. You got anything to add?
And besides, someone who's great on Evan's team may not work very well with you. Like Evan and I run businesses very, very differently. And so if I came along and I was like, hey, this person worked for years with Evan, can I take them? They're so amazing. They probably would not work well with me. So
I don't know. You just don't work well with people, Mark.
Yeah, exactly. There is my point. They would not work well with me.
All right.
There you go.
Okay.
Goodbye, Seagull man.
Okay, next. How can I be consistent with something?
You do it whether you feel like it or not. And so there's a lot of little techniques you can use in the meantime. You can schedule things. You can have an accountability partner. You can put something on the line. There's lots of little cheats that'll make you more consistent with things. But, you could tie pain or rewards to doing things constantly. But all of that stuff at the end of the day just comes down to doing what you have to do when you have to do it, whether you feel like it or not.
One, I would look at what is the resistance to the consistency, right? Are you afraid of it, or do you just really not want to do it, right? We had a great conversation, Something Poo podcast. When does that episode come out yet, Mark? It'll
come out audio on Tuesday, and it'll come on your video YouTube channel on next Friday.
Where, Mark likes to start things and needs to learn how to hand them off instead of tying his self-worth to finishing things. So he may not be consistent in finishing things, but why? It's just not something that he should be doing. It's not what he likes. So it could be, it's fear, like you're afraid that something's going to happen, or it's just not something you should be doing. What's the reason? So you got to understand the reason first. If it's fear, that's not a good enough reason. If it's that you don't love it, but you think you should, or you think, what did Mark say? That's what a real man does. Like if that's the reason why, that's a stupid reason, right? So what's the reason behind it? If that's the reason, you have to move away from it immediately. If you decided that it's just fear, then you need to create a calendar and you need to stick to it. You gotta find time. Just like, when am I gonna make my YouTube videos? Right? When I have time? No. Because you don't have time. You'll never have time. Like when we thought of this idea to do the Something to Prove podcast extra bonus here, I don't just have time. I ended a call that I was just on helping somebody to do this. It's in my calendar. Then I get it done. If it's when we have time, it would never line up. It would never happen. So if it's important to you, then you put it in your calendar. Yeah. You got anything else?
And then you do it. And then you do it.
And then you do it. Okay.
If anyone on the audio podcast is wondering why, the energy's weird, why there's these weird, awkward pauses,
they're used to you having energy to being weird, Mark.
Is going from mustache filters to angel filters to flying seagull filters, and it's very distracting. It's very distracting.
You're fine.
It's
You're
very
fine.
distracting.
You're fine. Okay. Manjunath. Want to serve, feeling weak sometimes, love my work, want to fix people's problems to serve people better.
I'm not sure what the question is there. Those are all truths. We all want to serve. They're all great. He's wearing a mask. There are all times we're going to feel strong or weak, or we're going to feel confident, or whatever, unconfident, I guess. What's the opposite of confidence?
Suki, by the way, in the chat
anxiety,
saying the energy
fear.
is great.
The energy is great.
Yeah.
Don't encourage him.
The energy is great.
Don't
Mark.
encourage him.
It's great.
Yeah. Want to fix problems to serve people better. Great. Is that Howard Schultz wearing a mask? I don't have much to add to this. I don't know. Evan, do you got anything for this?
It's actually, I don't think it's that difficult from the last question. Feeling weak, one is normal. Like if you never feel weak, then you're not doing anything bold. Again, you're bored and you hate your life. And then next is, feeling, it's just transitioning that feeling weak is a sign that I'm stretching and that I'm growing, not that I suck and I can't do anything, right? That adversity, stepping through it and having the resourcefulness to go off and do it. Like I feel weak, therefore I must. Not I feel weak, therefore I suck. It's just changing the thought process and the action afterwards. That's what I would do.
Great.
Okay? This is the best Something to Poo podcast of all time. All right. MHD, how to recover from burnout and get motivation back. Let's go, Mark. How to recover from burnout and get motivation back.
So
I did that one already.
If you're just coming off of feeling completely burnt out, then one, I imagine you're taking a break. I imagine that you're taking a step back, that you're offloading some stuff, that you're being really, really forgiving to yourself. Because if you're going a really hardcore speed and you're used to going that speed all the time, taking a break will make you feel guilty. It'll make you feel like you're dropping the ball. But you need to have some time to heal if you really are burnt out. If you're over it, if you're burnt out, you need to heal. The idea of getting the motivation back, to me, is like there's a reason why you got burnt out. And it's from overstress, or if it's from overwork, or you're not loving it, or you're hating it. You're relying on just pushing through and pushing through and pushing through, and there's no excitement or there's no energy that's carrying you. Man, it's so distracting, dude. There's no energy. So how to get your motivation back? It's going to be really hard after getting burnt out to come back to something you hate. So there's a reason you got burnt out. You have had a pause or a break and you've healed a little bit. Now fix those things that got you burnt out, and it'll be easier to get motivated. Get excited about what you're about to do. Use this break to cut away all the crap that you don't want to do and only focus on the things that you do want to focus on. Use this as an excuse or an opportunity to fix all the things that were broken that get you burnt out in the first place. Because people don't get burnt out from the stuff that they love. Like you've never heard anyone who's like, oh man, I'm so tired of watching Netflix all the time, right? Like, or going out to restaurants and eating great food or going on vacation. Like no one gets burnt out from that stuff, right? They get burnt out from doing the stuff and slogging through the stuff that they hate for too long.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I covered this in Built to Serve, where people ask about compassion fatigue. Like, can you, and compassion fatigue exists, is real, but it's not usually the problem. So starting point is, if you feel so burnt out that you just can't function and you don't know what to do next, then you go gentle on yourself, right? You go gentle on yourself, you hug yourself, you go for a walk in nature, like you just take some time for yourself, great. Now, to Mark's point, you got to deconstruct the reason why you're getting burnt out. It's either a lack of passion for the work you're doing, or a scheduling thing. You got too much in your calendar. So you have to now start to build a life that you love, that matches the ambitions that you say you want. An entire life, not just work, right? Like if all I did was work, if all I did was hang out on Instagram all day long and answer your questions, I'd love it. I would love it. It'd be great. But
yeah,
it'd be amazing. But I would quote unquote burn out because I wouldn't have any time with my wife, and I wouldn't have any time to work on my other projects, and I'd feel the stress of that. And so it's creating a life picture for yourself and then scheduling it in your calendar, business and personal stuff, so that when you look at it, you say, if I did those things, I'm going to be a happy, productive, impactful person. And that's constantly the game. Your schedule in a month will look slightly different. It should, because you've grown, you've evolved, you learned. You have different interests, wants, needs. This is powerful. I need to fix my schedule. All right, I like it. Okay, back to normal 11 as we move to try to find another question. I like these questions. They're good. Drew, what in the world, Evan? I think he's talking about my filters. Okay, let's go.
Evan likes to have fun and not take things too seriously sometimes. He is what are
yet,
you, a 90-year-old man in an 11-year-old mind or something?
Oh, what was that? Yeah, something like that. I said, somebody asked how old I am, and I said I'm 40, but I think like I'm 93 and I act like I'm 13.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I can't believe it. The other day I was talking to Jack about it. I was like, oh my goodness, Evan's 40. Oh my goodness. Oh, we're getting so old, Evan. We're getting old.
What's wrong with you? I'm great.
You're great.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Danny in the house. How to get out there in the most impactful way. Just released my first R&B single.
How to get out there in the most impactful way. To release your single, like I don't know, like this is so weird. I'm literally coming up blank. go to Instagram, go to social, share it, release it, talk about it, collab with people. I don't know. I don't have anything, Evan. Do you have freckles?
Yeah, I have freckles. This is great.
Butterflies and freckles.
And freckles, great. I would be trying to connect with people. Like, what's the theme of your music? So R&B, great, but like, what am I going to feel? Great art makes people feel. So songs make people feel of anything. Like the fastest way to change somebody's state is through a song. So when I listen to your song, what am I going to feel? Then find people who are posting around those topics, who are using those hashtags around those topics, and get connected with them. Add value to their community. Reach out to them. There was one woman, Stephanie, who made this song, Believe. And I'd never met her before. She was in my community, and she tagged me in it, and I saw it, and I listened to it, and it was a good song. I liked it. And so I said, hey, why don't we do an IG Live? And we did an IG Live the next week or something, and she sang it for me live. And then I added it to my playlist, and I've tagged her a couple times on my stories, and I had no idea who she was before any of this. But she tagged me, and it was relevant, right? Now, you could tag people, and they may not see it. But if you keep up, it's the consistency that's going to matter. If you keep doing it, some people will notice, and that gets them to listen to the song. And then it's up to the song. Is the song any good? Second is, I would have you do covers of non-R&B songs every day and release them as a video.
In an R&B way, or no?
Yeah.
So
like,
grab like something.
Yep.
Here, mash it up with your style.
Yep. Give me Lose Yourself R&B.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Hallelujah R&B. Give me something, whatever is popping right now, right? Give me a Ava Max song, R&B. And what that does is start getting people to your page, and then they listen to the original stuff. For any artist, if you can do yours, not just don't take R&B songs and make your slightly worse R&B version of it. No, but that's the thing. It's like so many people who like they go off and they try to do a Whitney cover. It's like, you're gonna try to cover Whitney? Like, it's you gotta have insane pipes.
Right.
You just sound like a worse version of Whitney.
So what he should do is take some Bob Dylan music and make it R&B or something.
I do the biggest classics, and then the trendiest right now. So sure, Bob Dylan, but not the super obscure ones. I don't know what Bob Dylan's biggest song is. I'm blanking. I got nothing. What's Bob Dylan's biggest song?
Probably How Many Roads Can a Young Man Walk Before They Call Him a Man? Whatever that song is. Or
it's funny that's the song. That's the song you go to. Or yesterday's episode was about this is what a real man does, and then you said before they call him a man.
You didn't ask me which songs I like best of him. You said which is his most popular.
I know, but that's where you go to after yesterday's topic about what it means to be a man.
Yes, Blowing in the Wind.
It's very serendipitous. Anyway. So yes, the biggest songs of all time, and then the trendiest songs right now. Do an R&B version of it to drive awareness for your page. That then people also discover, like, holy cow, this person's so good. I love this Danny Aaron guy. What else does he have? Like, what are his original songs? I think we got a couple minutes. Nina's not here. Here. We can go one more
this week. Ooh,
yeah, Nina.
Bonus time.
It's supposed to be meditation time right now, but Nina's out, so we'll see if she comes back. Let's throw one more in, and let's get one more filter in for everybody. Okay, Victor. Victor's in Movement Makers. I love it, man. We're getting the hardcore people showing up. How to give? Oh, Danny's saying, hold on, gold. That was gold. Very interesting perspective. Thank you for your advice. While wearing the butterflies and the freckles, I love it. Okay,
I like
how to give value. How to give value
question.
on IG? Jesus Christ, Mark. I'm trying to read the question. Victor, how to give value on Instagram when you're selling products, woodworks?
Great. Nobody goes to Instagram to buy your products. Nobody goes onto social media to be advertised to. Wow, Evan, that is something. So
it's too noisy, this filter. We're going to turn that on.
It's crazy. Okay, that's still crazy. People are living their life. They go to social media because they want people to look at them. They want people to pay attention to them. They want to connect. They want to get into the things that they're into. Nobody goes there to look at your ads or to buy your stuff. And so the first thing to do is to keep in mind that how to give value on IG when you're selling products, those two things aren't always going to connect. So do what you do for free. Give it away for free. Educate people as much as you can for free. Connect with as many people as you can for free. And don't put the selling of products so up front, right? The people who appreciate what you have, how you drive value or what you do or how you do it will come forward and be willing to pay you to do it because they're going to realize, hey, just thank you so much for, so Woodworks, awesome. Your chisel, is better than another chisel, or the way that you approach, routering something is better than someone else's thing, or whatever the product might be. But teach them how to use the products. Teach them why your products are better. Teach them how to do, dovetail drawers or whatever, and then they will learn about your product, and then they will come along and buy it later.
I'm super curious about how these Instagram filters work, because Second Skin here, these are the guys who wrapped my car.
Yeah, you've tagged them a few times, I guess. Right? So Instagram knows that you've tagged that location.
So they're showing me their filters?
Yeah, and they're not going to show you the irrelevant filters because you have no idea that some dude in Miami has a filter for a burrito stand or something because you're not there.
I know, but I didn't know that. Anyway, that's wild. Okay, anyway. Victor, woodworking, I just pulled it up. 14 million posts. 14 million posts. 14 million posts. It's a giant topic. What you do is go to all of those posts. You got 14 million to get through. And you go and you bring value.
But how do you bring that value when you're so busy trying to sell everything all the time, Evan?
Your goal in bringing the value is to get people to then click on your profile. Your goal is to leave, and I would turn notifications on, be the first one. Like as soon as they post, I'm there, right? That's what you want to be. And give value. Like most comments suck. Like, let's go through these stupid comments. Let's see. Let's look here.
Just so you know, Victor has some amazing photos of some amazing puppies.
Well, don't post puppies if you wanna sell woodworking.
No,
products.
it's really cute. Really,
No.
really cute.
Woodworking. Okay, let's click on, I don't know, let's look at this chair. This chair. Okay, look at all this stuff. Wow, look at these great comments. Okay, high five, heart, thumbs up, 4 black hearts, and why was it censored? That's the #2 post in woodworking right now. You think you can do better than that? I think you can. How about you just say something nice? Talk about how great that chair is, or what it makes you feel, or your thoughts on it, right? That's it. Bring value. I mean, I don't know what to say about that chair woodworking style, but I don't know anything about woodworking, but you do.
Well, you could talk about the grain, or you could talk about the finish, or you could talk about the architectural styles.
If you're the expert, then you go off and you add, like, how hard is it to add value when most people are just given a high five emoji? That's how you bring value. And then you write a paragraph. Give me 3 sentences on everybody's post, full of value, without pitching anything. You know what they're going to say? Holy cow, who's this Victor guy? And they're going to click on your profile, and they're going to see a bunch of puppies. Fix your profile. Show me your products. Tell me why they're great. That's how you sell on Instagram. Sound good? That was practical.
Man.
Okay, gotta go. Mark, how do people listen to whatever, Something Proof podcast, this podcast?
If you're an audio kind of podcast person like me, you go to Apple Podcasts, you just search Something to Prove podcast. If you're a video podcast person like Evan, you go to YouTube and you search Something to Prove podcast.
Much love, guys. We'll see you soon.
Remember to believe.